Hello everybody and welcome to the biggest motorsport spectacle you'll see today. The ultimate prize in tin top touring car racing is up for grabs. The 2019 FIA World Touring Car Cup, presented by Oscaro, comes from a new venue to the calendar, the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia. Frankie Goes to Hollywood once sang, when two tribes go to war, one is all that you can score. When three tribes go to war, expect all hell to break loose and the dogs of war to let slip. Norby Michelisz, Esteban Guerrieri and the Lincoln Co twins of Ivan Muller and Ted Bjork are about to make this racetrack their battleground. Jake Sanson and Matt Neal with you in the commentary box. Alex Leguiz in pit lane, and our old friend the weather might be set to rock the proverbial boat. Matt, I am so excited.
It's definitely a mixed day for us today, Jake, and the weather is hanging on at the minute. You know, we've got rain forecast coming in, and when it rains in Malaysia, it can rain, can't it? They've had some torrential pour downs over the weekend, but at the moment we're looking okay.
So what has happened since we had qualifying on Friday? Well, what you do need to know is that Nicky Katzberg has been given a 5-place grid penalty for the first race, and that was for failing to slow down and overtaking cars during a full course yellow, for which he was also given 2 penalty points. But there is the DHL pole position, and it's been all about this man all weekend, hasn't it? Norby Michelisz with the title on the line and a points lead he does not want to let slip. He's just been absolutely formidable all weekend long. He has never put a wheel out of place over the course of practice and qualifying. He knows what's at stake today. He needs perfection.
Yeah, Norby's he's in the zone at the moment. You can see he's just concentrating in the car. He's been on another level this weekend, as has the Hyundai. Seems to have moved up a gear, like they've been hiding some little bit of performance away. But he's literally been head and shoulders over the rest. He's got points in the bag. It's definitely his to lose at the moment. But with adverse weather coming in, who knows?
Now there's a few different things going on behind the scenes. We caught up with Ivan Muller, who discussed why Lincoln Co are so off the pace. He said it's probably a bit in the setup, a bit because of the 30 kilograms extra compared to Hyundai, 40 kilos more than Honda, but they didn't get the chance to test. You remember, this is a first-year program, so it is all very interesting stuff. Norby Michelisz and Aurelion Panis on the front row, his best ever result. Nestor Girolami and Mikael Ashkiner on the second row from Fred Vervish and Augusto Farfus. Gabriele Tarquini lines up on row 4 alongside China's Ma Jinghua, who is very, very keen to end his season on a high. Championship contender Esteban Guerrieri lines up in 9th on the grid alongside Niels Langeveld, who is there in 10th position. Kevin Chekon and Nicky Katzberg now down to 12th, having originally qualified 7th, courtesy of his penalty. He is now 12th on the grid. João Paulo de Oliveira is the leading wildcard, 13th on the grid for the Formula Nippon champion of 9 years ago. Thiago Monteiro lines up alongside him. Dan Haglov is beside championship contender Ivan Muller, way down in 16th. The Lincoln Co just not on the pace this weekend. Johan Kristoffersson and Joel Carvalet both hoping that this is not going to be their last weekend in the FIA WTCR, despite their programs ending for next year. Mehdi Benani lines up alongside Tom Coronel, 2 more men who are hoping 2020 will see them return. Attila Tassi lines up beside Gordon Shannon in his last race for Leopard WRT. And then, of course, we've got Rob Huff and Jan Erlache, who are on the 12th row of the starting grid. Mitchell Chea lines up 25th on home soil alongside Benjamin Leuchter, Andy Prio and Ted Bjork. Look at that, 14th row of the grid. They just didn't have the pace compared to the others out there, and they were the slowest cars on pace. Then we have Havish Yarin, the MotoGP rider, and of course rode at least 4 hours in yesterday's endurance race here, and Douglas Q, who lines up 30th on the grid. A very impressive field. And of course, Ivan Muller is hoping to bounce back. But of course, as we mentioned just a moment ago, you know, he said to us the program only started this year for Lincoln Co. This is their first year and they're leading the team's championship. Very impressive. But because they didn't get the chance to test in March at the same time that Hyundai and Honda did, knowing this was going to be the first year for Sepang in the championship, they just haven't had the testing time. They are losing about 4 to 6 tenths per lap just on the weight deficit. But it doesn't account for the loss in setup, and that's because they didn't get the chance to test. Here's Niels Langeveld, rookie this year, 10th on the starting grid, going very well this weekend by all accounts.
Yeah, we just saw some spots of water on the front of Nils. Audi there, and obviously different selection of the tyres. You know, it's hard to see from where we're sat the conditions, but they are all splitting the bases. We've got Norby Michelitz and Esteban Guerreri. They've gone full slicks all round, as have Ivan Muller and Ted Bjorg. But then Lincoln Co. have they're splitting the bases a bit. They've got young Yann Lachey. He's on slick front, wet rears, and then we've got Priau on wets all round, as has the other Lincoln Co. Oh no, Guerreri, he's actually on wets now.
He has just changed to wets, so
interesting.
That is a late-minute decision then for Esteban Guerreri. He's obviously seen that the weather forecast has changed in the last couple of minutes. He has now gone to wets, as you can see. So this is going to be very interesting. And obviously all the teams will have a combination of a wet tyre and a slick tyre out there to make that last-minute decision if they need to. But this is critical for Guerreri. They've got to get their tyre strategy right. Has he gone for dries on the fronts?
Yeah,
he has.
That's brave move for a race distance, for a qualifying distance. I get it, but for a race distance, that is going to be a serious handful. I mean, especially with some of the fast straights down here, all you do is you're getting the rear of the car wanting to overtake the front all the time, and it's a proper handful.
Well, Ivan Muller said yesterday he thinks the Drivers' Championship is over. The target is to fight for the Teams' Championship, but even that will be difficult. Now we've got the rain, it's wide open again, surely. Marching-Noir lining up 8th position.
But it's not raining yet, Jake. That's the thing. If it stays in these conditions, you need standing water to cool the blocks. A race wet tyre is a very soft compound and construction, so it needs water to cool it, otherwise it will overheat very quickly. It's nothing like what you'd see on a road car. In these conditions, the course is wet, but it's only damp. It's probably too damp for slicks, but if over a race distance, they will fry them and they will start to go backwards, so it's decision time, isn't it?
It's always going to be a bit of a knife edge in terms of strategy. For the Hyundais, it is very important. For this man, Gabriele Tarquini, this could potentially be his last race in the championship. He said yesterday there's a 50-50 chance of him staying on the grid in 2020, but ultimately it's up to the team. That's interesting for a legend of the sport.
Well, yeah, I've heard differently. You know, it's the 50-50 option, but I think Hyundai are changing their focus on how they're going to support the teams. So that will make a difference.
Let's hear from Ivan Muller, an important interview.
Hello everybody, good afternoon, or good morning for the one are in Europe. We're on the grid for the last event of Sepang WTCC World Championship. Is a bit of panic right now because we have to choose the tire. The condition is not very clear. Personally, I choose slicks on the front, wet on the rear. But there is no majority on the grid, apparently. Some are for slicks, some are for wets, and some are mixed. So let's see who is right. Apparently, the weather forecast doesn't go in the right direction. It will be more and more wet, so that's why I took something between. Let's see what's happening. It can be interesting.
So that's a last-minute decision for Ivan Muller as well, because obviously he's only just gone from what was originally slicks to slicks at the front, wets at the rear. What a fascinating race this is going to be, with indecision very much the watchword at this precise moment here at Sepang. Will it rain? It had better for the Lincoln Co. boys. There is Augusto Farfus's information, 6th on the starting grid. He's been under the radar a bit this weekend, but he's been very solid in speed and consistency. And obviously this has been a bit of a strange year for him because, of course, everybody has kind of come to know Augusto Farfus as a bit of a BMW man, but he wanted to race in WTCR. It's been his home for a while now. 5-minute board goes up and you can see the rain falling. Now the rain has arrived. There we go. Now the question is, how heavy is it going to get? We're on board with a safety car and you can see the rain is actually splattering down on the windscreen. This is critical now. Who's got the strategy right?
Well, I didn't see what they ended up putting on Michelitz's car. They've got to, I think, the 3-minute board to swap them. So there's a fair different selection, isn't it?
Fred Vervish has got slicks on the front for definite. I didn't see whether he had wets on the rear, but people do seem to be going for that split decision.
This is Michelitz's worst nightmare. All he wants is, he's been the class of the field all weekend. He doesn't want random. You know, he wants either wet, he wants either dry. If it's a lottery, then suddenly it brings the other into the equation, because they've got, you know, the likes of Muller and Bjork, they've got 0 to lose. They were just going to go all out for him.
Again for Vervish, he's gone wets on the rear, slicks on the front. I love this. We've got this, the motorbikes kind of touring them around, I think, at the start. Or certainly they're going to do a nice little display to finish off their weekend, because they had an amazing race yesterday, which was able to run to completion despite the tricky conditions. So that does bode well for us on that front. We do have a stop procedure if the races are halted, but we really hope it doesn't get to that. Looking at the intensity of the weather, I hope it doesn't. Mikkel Ashkener, 4th position on the grid. This has been a stellar weekend from him. He could really bow out on a high and potentially put himself in the shop window for a big seat in 2020.
Yeah, young Spaniard's been going really well, hasn't he? Especially in the last sort of quarter of the season. Very fast, very young, great potential, star of the future.
And there's a few drivers who are looking for a decent opportunity this weekend to put them in the shop window for a good seat. One of them is Aurélien Panis. He's hoping that this weekend's performance could see him get himself a decent drive for 2020. So, a lot to play for. The motorcycles leave the grid for their nice little demo after what has been a brilliant combination weekend for the sport here in Malaysia. A cross between bikes and cars. It's been a great success. The fans have really warmed to it. The endurance race from the bikes yesterday was very well received by the locals. And now they get the showdown of showdowns. Their first ever World Touring Car event. And boy, oh boy, they've got a 4-way showdown in unpredictable conditions. This man, he's going to play a big part in this, I think. Nestor Girolami, the twice STC 2000 champion. And he's got to play the team card here. His teammate is behind him on the grid. He's been the faster of the two consistently over the weekend. But this is an important opportunity for him to show what a team player he can be.
Yeah, there's marginal amounts in difference in time, though, isn't there, Jake? So I think the tyre option is going to be the big scenario. I need to start writing this all down, because they're changing and changing and changing, then changing back. Definitely the option of slick front and wet rear over a race distance is a real handful. I can't tell you how much of a handful it is. These guys are going to be working incredibly hard inside the cars. But I guess not as much of a handful if you've got slicks all around and it really pours down. It can do anything. The weather here can do anything.
Son of the 1996 Monaco Grand Prix winner, Aurélien Panis, his best ever qualifying performance in the title fight. And this, of course, being only his 2nd year in World TCR. This is an important one for him, because he needs to get himself into the shop window for a decent drive in 2020. A lot of indecision and silly season rumours going around at this point of the season. ComTU is hoping that they can get something assured for next year. But wouldn't it be great for him if he could end up with one of the big names for 2020? He wants to really make it happen. We are told that the start is going to happen behind the safety car. That's what we're being told.
No,
now, surely
not.
Well, I don't think it's that wet. What's Michelisz gone for in terms of tyre strategy?
Michelisz has gone for
rear wets, front slicks again. So he's done the same thing. It's basically, that's what other people are doing. So he's done the same thing. It's the Lauder and Hunt thing, isn't it? Well, I'm going to go for wets, so I will. He's gone for wets, so I'm going to go for wets as well.
It's whose car's going to cope with it the best. I mean, you know, in this respect, for this sort of scenario, if they're all starting alongside each other, I put my money on Muller. But he's got a lot of work to do, a lot of cars to overtake. Back in 16th place, so he's...
The only reason for them starting behind the safety car has got to be that, well, this is a weird circuit, Sepang. There might be parts of the circuit that are a lot wetter, significantly wetter than what we've got here. Otherwise, I've got to say, we're being ridiculously overcautious.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big stopping point into turn 1. It's a big, heavy braking area where there's potential, but it's a race, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, these guys are the best touring car racers in the world. They're supposed to cope with wet conditions. You've got wet tyres. Let them use them. That's my opinion.
That's a bit of a strange one for me, but yeah.
Start is delayed a little, and that I'm guessing is because of the decision to start behind the safety car. Well, I guess the only reason has got to be as well is that with some cars starting on slicks and the rain's just started, they must feel, well, we've got to get them at least up to speed to see what happens. Norbert Michelis with an awful lot on his shoulders today. And as you said, Matt, this is his nightmare scenario. Random weather, changeable conditions.
Norby, slick on the front, rain on the rear. You, Panis, slick on the front, rain on the rear. Girolami, for rain. Azzona, for rain. Pervish, slick on the front, rain on the rear. Arfus, for rain. Gabriele, slick, rain. Rain, full rain. Guerreri, slick, rain.
You just heard a very accurate rundown of all of the split decisions of the tyres. Esteban Guerrieri still fighting for this title, and he's got a lot to do. From 9th on the starting grid, though, the sporadic nature of what could happen over the course of the 9-lap race we've got in front of us.
Open.
Evan Muller telling his crew, I think, to keep the window open. Is that right?
No, wouldn't be keeping window open. It'd be something else. Maybe some other vents.
I was just going to say, that's a baffling decision.
It's still pretty warm out there, so.
Yeah, it's 27 degrees air temperature. Track temperature is going to be about 34 still. There's the championship as it stands at the moment. 15 points is the battle for Norbert Michelis in front of Ivan Muller by a further 6, in front of Ted Bjork now by 38 in total. It's looking tough for Lynk & Co, but with changeable weather conditions, it's not impossible. And of course, they've still got a 61 lead over Hyundai.
Phil, are we doing the start behind the safety car?
Yes, confirm start behind safety car. Confirm you heard the message.
Yeah, I confirm. Start behind the safety car.
A very dramatic start to the first race of this weekend's FIA World Touring Car Cup at Sepang. We are starting under safety car conditions with a lot of the cars in the field on split tyre decisions. Some are on slicks and wets, some are on full wets. The rain is in the air, it's not heavy yet, but because of the indecision and because of the unpredictable nature, the stewards have decided to err on the side of caution and start under safety car. I'm Jake Sanson, with me is Matt Neal, down in the pit lane is Alexandre Le Guy, and this is a title to decide, with 4 drivers in it: Norbert Michelis, Esteban Guerrieri, Ivan Muller and Ted Bjork, and we are starting under safety car. Very dramatic and very controversial decision, perhaps.
I tell you what, the exciting thing is also, Jake, is we could actually see some pit stops.
That's true. We don't see that very often in race 1.
No, how good is this going to be? It's, we're going to see the back-end boys earning the money a bit more this weekend, because the rain is coming down harder now, and these guys who've gone for the slick option on the front, like Michelitz, that could be the wrong move.
Yeah, I'm starting to think now, as every second ticks down and the rain comes down, it's starting to look more and more logical that the safety car is there. We are starting the final weekend of the FIA World Touring Car Cup presented by Ascaro in 2019 here at the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia under safety car conditions. Some cars are on slicks, some cars are on wets, others are on a combination of the two. It is a very exciting battle in front of us. We are underway on the first lap under safety car conditions, and this is for the title. Norbert Michelis versus Esteban Guerrieri, with the 2 Lynk & Co's, Ivan Muller and Ted Bjork, down the order, but still with a mathematical chance to steal the title. This is absolutely sensational stuff. Jake Sanson and Matt Neal in the commentary box. Alexandre Le Guy is down in pit lane, giving us all the gossip, and she could be very busy in this race. The changeable weather conditions could mean a lot of pit lane action.
Yeah, we got some angry clouds around us, but I still am at a bit of a loss why we're starting under a safety car. But
they've clearly decided to err on the side of caution with some cars on partial slicks or full slicks. And it's a really interesting dynamic that we've got here with a title on the line. There is Gabriele Rizzo looking up at the sky. And Ted Bjork. Let's have a listen in.
Okay, Ted, general feedback from Ron, who's outside, to whether it's getting worse where he is, okay? So it's only going to get worse than it is now.
Yeah, I think I will try to take care of my tires.
Always good to hear what the drivers have to say in these conditions. The thing is, you don't know unless you're in it. You don't know unless you're out there experiencing it. But from the outside, it looks as though we've erred on the side of caution a little bit early.
yeah, Lincoln Co boys, a lot of them are ex or current esconded RML guys, Ray Mallock Limited, and they're pretty on the money. You know what they used to do is send a guy 1K outside the circuit, north, south, east and west, and they would literally manually report. You've got all these fancy weather forecasts and digital systems, but they would literally have a manual. And if it starts raining hard, they'd be on the phone saying, right, it's coming in hard and you've got to pit. So, but if it is getting harder like that over the back end of the circuit, then you'd be best off pitting under the safety car.
When it's different, but I think we should go with it.
So Norbert Michelis says we should go with this. Is it literally just a one-lap dash and we're going to go racing? I think it might be.
Well,
yes, it is. It's going to be a one-lap safety car and we're going to go racing straight away. So down to the hairpin and they will come through, and it's proper heavy, the rain now. It's possibly the worst moment at all to go racing, but out of the final turn, and we are racing. The race of Malaysia gets underway, the 10th and final round of the title fight, and Norby Michelis is already starting to weave to try and break the toe from Aurelion Panis. Girolami is going to go with them into third position, and they head down towards the first hairpin. This is all about Norbert Michelis hanging on to it, and they have made a brilliant start, the top four, to get away, and it looks as though already there's some overtaking moves as Langeveld is trying to get himself into a decent position there.
I think he's almost still trying to get heat into those slick tyres, Jake, but if Girolami doesn't make a move fast, then that's a bad omen for him. He's on wets all round in third place, so unless he can really sort of make that count now, then those slick tyres on the front of Norby's and Norby's car is only going to get better.
This is going to get busy into the first big stopping point of the second sector, and up the inside comes Marching Ward, takes on Vervish, I think that is, to get through into position. Langeveld is in there as well behind them. Guerrieri is trying to stay out of trouble, but this is a very tight position for them all to be in now as they are struggling with a lack of grip. And some of them have gone a split decision on the tyres. This is where grip's going to be a bit of a tough one to find. A lot of sliding around. Well saved, Esteban. But how long can he keep this up around the lap?
You can see he's having to work hard in there.
Tucked in behind Marching Ward. Those tyre stacks are starting to look like a massive problem now, because if you start to run just the tiniest bit wide, somebody's going to make contact with them.
He's going for the inside of Mar. And he's through nice and cleanly.
Oh, he nearly nudges the Hyundai as he tries to come through as well. We're on board with Chekon. He's run wide on the exit, Guerrieri. I think it's because he had to get out of the power to stop hitting the Hyundai. Now he's back up the inside of Marching Ward, gets the place done this time. But again on the exit, the Honda just doesn't seem to have the squirt, and that is the Oliveira sliding and battling with one of the Audis who's gone very sideways. Hope he's managed to catch it. Guerrieri gets back through on Marching Ward on the exit as Tarquini and Farfus slip and slide their way through the hairpin.
You can see these guys, the guys with the slick front, wet rear, are working incredibly hard inside those cars.
So far, no major catastrophes and no yellow flags. I'm astonished, to be fair, but then these are the best tin-top drivers in the world. Down they come again. That's on the main straight. These are the leaders. This is, oh no, sorry, it is the south straight. My apologies. They now come into the hairpin of the North Straight, and Marching War is back up the inside of Esteban Guerrieri, who might get a good squirt of power out of the exit. Yes, he does, and there's enough grip that he can now start to chase after Farfus. This is where the team game's going to start to come into play. It's Mikilis out in front, Panis in second place. Girolami is in third position at the moment, from Ashkina in fourth. Then it's Tarquini, Farfus and Guerrieri. Guerrieri in seventh place, having made up 2 already, with the Romeo Ferrari Alphas behind, up the inside of Farfus. Farfus trying to keep it back, and they bang doors, and Guerrieri makes the move anyway.
Good move off Guerrieri. Farfus saw him coming, tried to close the door, tried to shut him out, but he wasn't having any of it. And like Mars, that's given Mar an opportunity on him as well now.
So now Mar goes round the outside and gets Farfus. We're on board with Chekon. Has he got enough power and pace to get past Farfus? It looks like he's going to. He'll sweep to the inside line to try and get the move. Guerrieri still chasing after Tarquini. And here comes Chekon on the inside of Farfus. He gets the move. This is brilliant tin-top racing now, as World TCR is having a proper splash and dash round there. So this is going to be a tough one. Can Farfus hang on the inside? Round the outside comes De Oliveira. He's going to really go for it. De Oliveira has got through past one of the Hyundais. Now he's going to make the move on Chekon as Guerrieri steps after Tarquini. Now, who's next up in the Lynk & Co battle? That is the 100 that's first up. That is Muller. So he's up to 12th. So Ivan Muller now up into P12. Don't count him out of this yet. He's got a great chance as we're on lap 3 of what is now 10, of course, because safety car laps do not count to the race distance. So it's a 10-lap race now rather than 9 because of the lap that we spent behind the safety car. Ivan Muller now trying to get up the inside of Farfus. He's got traction, he's got pace, and he's got speed. This is what Ivan Muller needed to get his title fight back on song. The changeable, slippery conditions are heavenly for Ivan Muller. Let's have a listen in.
Okay, Gunswell, push me as well time. He's on me. Copy, we will report. He might be the re-reactor.
Muller's going to try and have a go at Hagloff, but he's going to get through on Chekon without even trying. He has to put the car in exactly the right position for the corner, and he's managed to get through. Meanwhile, De Oliveira, the wild card, is having a crack at Marching War, and Hagloff and Chekon are trying to shake off Ivan Muller.
You can see the speed difference of that Alpha and the Lynk & Co. Muller got well alongside the Alpha, and then the Alpha just drags away. I mean, the Lynk & Co. is running heavy this weekend, but yeah, it's quite dramatic, that was.
He's got better grip in the corners as well because he's able to get more speed off the turn initially, but the top speed is where they are losing ground. And look, Chekon's just going to draw back alongside him. And he's going to have the drag to the corner. It's going to be about who breaks later, essentially. Marching War's trying to shake off the Honda of De Oliveira. And Hagloff's trying to come around the outside of both of them in the Cupra. But Muller breaks later than Chekon, gets back onto the inside line, and that puts him up into 9th place. Meanwhile, De Oliveira has hit the front of this little trio, and Ivan Muller's trying to get himself in there. Mikilis is your leader, Panis is second. There's a great battle going on for third now because Girolami has got Ashkina and Tarquini. Tarquini making the move on the inside of Ashkina to give himself a good chance to be the team player. He gets through on Ashkina. So Tarquini into P4. Ashkina has to fall back into 5th place. Look at the squirt of the Hyundai. He's going to go right round the outside of Girolami. Brilliant from Tarquini. He can't quite hold it, but now he's got an opportunity to sprint back up the outside line and goes right round through. Brilliant. 50-50 chance of being on the grid next year, apparently.
Well, that's, I mean, Girolami is a Wetzel round, so they're just getting that extra bit of traction off the, it's a handful, but the traction they're getting off the slick front seems to be the way to go at the minute.
Tarquini still got it in my book. Guerrieri making his bid for Ashkina. Girolami struggling. So watch this. Look, he's going to try and box in Ashkina and give Guerrieri the opportunity to get up the inside. Careful, Nestor. And Ashkina's going to overshoot. He gets on the grass, and Guerrieri gets past them both. That's brilliant team gamesmanship there from Nestor Girolami. Guerrieri's through in a 4th.
Yeah, it's formation flying from the all-inkle Argentinians. Guerrieri moves up another 2 places.
Girolami's just bought himself a contract negotiation for 2020, hasn't he? That's brilliant work. And now Guerrieri is there in 4th position, chasing down last year's title winner, Gabriele Tarquini, in 3rd place, but he's going to play just as good a team game to keep Guerrieri at bay. But the Argentine just needs to keep scoring as many points as virtually possible. Look, that's how it's likely to stand now. Mikilis would increase the gap to 27 with 2 races to go. That's a big, big gap. You said this morning, Matt, it's a slam dunk for Michelis. Well,
it is, but anything can happen. One DNF.
Absolutely.
One DNF and he's away. I mean, what they do set is the grids are all set for the day now. Unlike British touring cars, where if you don't finish race 1, then it impacts you on 2 and 3. So even if he does have a problem, he's going to get grid positions in the other races.
De Oliveira's just made the move on Girolami. Girolami trying to get back through because here comes Ivan Muller. Watch for Muller. He's going to use the outside line and he should gain a couple of places here. He's loving the fact that the rain has come to Sepang. In the dry, they were nowhere. In the wet, they've got a chance. Round the outside of Girolami. Muller's having to cut back to the inside line, back to the outside line, sorry, because Girolami's covering him on the inside. Boot the throttle, Ivan, and he's driven around the outside of him. That's how good he still is.
16th to 6th place in just a handful of laps. It's what they're going.
Ted Bjork's going for slicks.
Slick rears, interesting call.
And fronts, all slicks for Ted Bjork. Wow, that is fascinating.
Well, he must have been on wet fronts to start with. I thought he was slick fronts and wet rears.
Well, to be fair, I haven't seen much rainfall recently, so maybe they think that the track's going to dry fast enough that the guys at the front are just going to hemorrhage lap times. Ted Bjork could get himself a few points here. It's the gamble. It's the only way he's going to get himself back into the action. So that's a bold move from Ted Bjork to come into the pits and put a full set of slicks on.
The problem with a sprint race, Jake, is by doing a pit stop, you lose so much time. You can never make it back.
Ivan Muller nearly just went straight into the back of De Oliveira. They've definitely got more pace at the moment. And their tyre gamble, certainly for Ivan Muller, is paying off. Let's listen to Bjork.
Okay, Ted, this isn't the ideal combination of cars to be on at the moment, okay? We're gambling on you coming back through the back end of the race, okay? It's all about learning now for the future, okay?
Okay, copy that.
Okay, mate, feel the grip under you, okay? Nothing clever early on, okay? It's still not the right combination at this present time.
So they are gambling with Ted Bjork to learn about what the conditions are doing out there. That's basically been his whole weekend. He's the gambler as far as they're concerned, which is a shame because he's the outside man for the title, but they've got to give it a go if they want Ivan Muller to win. And also they're focusing on the team's title. They've got to score as many points as possible, and this kind of race is definitely helping. Look, the gap at the moment is 31 points. They're going to lose some to BRC. That was basically, we've got pace, we are going fast, get on with it, man, boot it. Ivan Muller chasing down De Oliveira, who's having a great race in 5th position. He can't score points, of course, because he's a wild card, De Oliveira, but he's putting on quite the sensational show here. Plenty of race experience on this circuit, of course, having been a Japanese racing star for a long time. In fact, he's actually flying the Japanese flag this weekend, despite the fact he's Brazilian, but he's under a Japanese license. Ivan Muller now chasing down De Oliveira. Aurelian Panis sets the fastest first sector of anybody, 30.9 for him. Muller is the fastest man on track at all, 2 minute 30.8 for him. So Muller is the fastest man on track. I can't believe we're saying that after what we saw on Friday.
Yeah, there's not heaps in it. There's a couple of tenths in it, but he is the fastest. He is the man on the move at the moment. He just needs to clear Oliveira, and then he's up into the sort of the big boys.
See, this is what a decade of dominance in the Andros Trophy does to your career. He is so good in slippery conditions, and now Muller is actually the man on the move. This could still be at least a 3-way fight heading to the last race of the season.
It's going to be interesting. Let me see if the timing screen's a bit behind us on this one, but it's going to be interesting to see how Bjork does with his all-round slicks at the moment.
Well, Giudietti's snaking under braking as he tries desperately to slow the car down at that point. It is really treacherous out there. He's having to be so delicate with the steering. Look, the car is slewing and jockeying and sliding around all over the place. He has got to find a little bit of momentum to carry through each of these apexes. He's really struggling out there. Ivan Muller is dancing through. Look at it. Look at Giudietta as he comes through these S's. Normally it's full commitment. He's sliding around as if there's ice cubes under the tyres right now. Careful, Esteban!
Yeah, this is the that's what it's like with slick fronts and wet rears. You are really hanging on to it. The rear's trying to there's still water coming down, so it's a big bold move from Link & Co to put Bjorg on slicks all round. I wouldn't fancy that much.
I think it's the wrong move, looking at how much rain is coming down, but they had to give it a go.
I think Muller might have fried his tyres. He seems to have slipped back a wee bit now.
Well, now that the rain's come back again, of course, it's going to favour those who looked after their tyres. Q Norby Mikkelis up front, who is still just making the best of it. What a battle this is. We've got Banani, Ashkener, Girolami, Tassi, and then we've got two of the Lincoln Co's in there. One of them looks to be Prio, and the other one is Jan Erlache. What a tussle this is for 13th place. And look, Girolami's just tumbling down through the field.
He just hasn't got the traction off those wet fronts, which surprises me with water still coming down as it is.
Well, there were
They're obviously just overheating a wee bit.
Yeah, there were 2 or 3 laps where it wasn't coming down, so as you say, he must have fried them in that period. Ashkener is just trying to keep Attila Tassi at bay. Aurélien Panis is on for his best ever finish in FIA WTCR. His best ever finish is a 4th place. Into the pits comes one of the Hyundais, it's Augusto Farfus. So yet again, they are basically using one of their drivers for research, and they're putting slicks on again.
That's why he was slow earlier. I thought he was on the same combination as the others, but he is on the same combination as Girolami, who's going backwards.
So a rear slick for Augusto Farfus. Full slicks, in fact. But the rain is coming down, so clearly they're just using him to get information and data.
Yeah, they're doing the same as Link & Co are doing with Bjorg, aren't they?
It's the advantage of having 4 cars, I suppose, for each manufacturer. And they know that Farfus is out of the title fight. They know, well, I'm surprised they did it with Ted Bjork, because he is in the title fight. Here's Guerrieri. Let's see what he's coping with.
His radio's not working. He is invisible for points. JP is invisible for points.
I think I heard the words radio is not working.
That's convenient, isn't it? If your teammate doesn't want to get out of the way.
At the worst possible time in the season. So Esteban Guerrieri is chasing down last year's title winner, Gabriele Tarquini, who is proving why he still has a place in the world of tin tops. Of course, he's there in 3rd position doing a fantastic job, but this may still be his last weekend. What if he bows out on a high? It would be amazing. You know, he's been one of the legends of the sport. Here's another legend of the sport. Ivan Muller, 6th place, chasing down De Oliveira. Can he get more than 6th place? He kind of needs to. Guerrieri runs wide.
No, I think they're finding some grip on that outside line. It's, you see them, they get the good traction out the corner from there. And
that looked like an invitation for Ivan Muller, but as you say, they're just able to drive away the Hondas of Guerrieri and Oliveira. So Oliveira, with track knowledge, is able to run very smoothly at the front. They run a little bit deeper. Muller using the inside line. He's not got the traction. You're right, Matt. It just seems that the outside line that the Hondas are using is a little bit better. Muller using his experience in slippery conditions to good measure. Can he get the run on the inside of De Oliveira? No, the Hondas are just so good, but they've got a 40-kilogram weight deficit compared to the Hondas. They just don't have the same traction when the conditions aren't in their favor. Look at the rain coming down now. That is a proper rain shower. And so now anybody on slick tyres is basically like a drunk dad at a wedding on roller skates. There's no chance of any grip at all.
well, I'm reliably advised that Oliveira is on slicks all round.
Surely he can't be finding that sort of speed on slicks. Well, he's got experience of this part of the world, I suppose. But that really is a giant crushing effort if De Oliveira is on slicks all round. Here comes Muller up the inside. Careful, Ivan, you can't commit to that move. Even you can't pull that overtaking move off, but you might be able to pull off the next one. Up to the hairpin.
That's where the Link & Co will struggle just in a straight line.
So this is going to be quite an incredible opportunity.
I don't want this race to stop. I want it to go
No,
on for a while.
I want this to be a 20 lap, you're right. This has got so many twists and turns still to come, and we're going to run out of laps. Ivan Muller still spitting all over the back of De Oliveira's exhaust, trying to find a way to get through in a 5th place. But in terms of the title fight, this is crucial. All 3 of our leading 3 in the title fight are in the top 6. Ivan Muller still trying to gain an advantage on De Oliveira. Into the braking zone for one of the toughest corners on the circuit in the dry, even more treacherous in the wet. This is an amazing effort from Ivan Muller. An absolutely incredible effort. Considering how slow they were in the dry, they needed the weather to come to them. And Ivan Muller throwing caution to the winds, going for the gamble, and it's paying off. They are back in contention again. Look at the rain out of the final corner. Let's have a listen to Esteban Guerrieri's radio.
GP will try to protect you. GP will try to protect you.
He's had the command from Honda. João Paulo de Oliveira has had the command from Honda. The man in front could win the title. Keep that Frenchman at bay, or your job is up for cards.
That's easier said than done with Ivan Muller when he's on a charge. He's got to stiff at some silverware.
Yeah, he's not trying to keep any old driver behind him, is he? He's trying to keep a multiple world champion behind him.
He's only got 2 laps to be able to do it.
Here's Muller. I'm fairly sure that was code for he's causing me some issues.
Okay, remember the guy in front is not playing for the point.
Yeah, the guy in front isn't playing for the points. He may not be playing for the points, but he's not an idiot. He knows that that's a Honda, and it's a Honda in front that is playing for the points.
Yeah, he wants Guerrieri. He needs to make inroads. Well, Muller's only about 2 points behind Guerrieri, isn't he? So, in the championship.
So if he can beat him, he's going to get himself right back into contention. And didn't he say earlier in the week, Norby Michelis, my biggest threat for the title this weekend is Ivan Muller? That is what he said. I mean, obviously his opinion might have changed this morning, but now that we've got these mixed conditions, Muller is doing what he does best. But can João Paulo de Oliveira, with his track knowledge and experience, keep the multiple world champion at bay? It's a tough one. A lap and a half to go in this first race, and this is only race 1 of 3, let's not forget. We've still got an entire evening of absolute nail-biting tension to come.
We need to get out and get some rain dancing shoes on.
Oh, I don't know, I quite like the mixed conditions.
You can see him working
here he
hard
goes.
in there. As he run wide, is Muller going to make 2?
Again, round the outside, the Honda's got good grip, but Muller's just doing what he needs to do. He's doing everything possible. He's trying his best. He's coming off the line to try and get the tyres cooler for this last lap and a half.
Muller's sniffing at the insides, but the result of it, he isn't getting the traction out the corners. That's the problem, and the Hondas are getting away then.
There's no other alternative, though. The Hondas are just romping that outside line because it's where they work best. Norbert Michelis is on the last lap. And from his point of view, this is rosy as a dandy.
And Michelis looks as though he's having a bit of a drive in the country this morning or this afternoon, and but it'll be far from it inside the cockpit of that car. He'll be waiting tentatively for that checkered flag.
So that's what is up for grabs here. As it stands, Guerrieri will be 27 off that man, Norbert Michelis. Muller will be 35 off him, and that's looking very tough to beat the Hungarian. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride, Norbert Michelis. This year is his best chance yet to seal the deal, and the entirety of Hungary is tuning in to watch him get the job done. But it's not done yet. In the virtual team standings, Lincoln Co are going to have a lead of just 31 going into the penultimate race of the year. That's not an easy position to be in. Aurélien Panis in second place. Can we just pick up on him? Second place. This is going to be his first ever podium finish in the FIA World Touring Cars.
Yeah, this battle for 5th and 6th place between Oliveri and Muller is the battle. It's the fastest battle of Oliveri. Just set the fastest lap of the race, closely followed by Ivan Muller. So these two guys are setting the pace. They're working hard at it.
Ice cool for Norbert Michelis up in front. He's won at the Nürburgring, he won at Villarreal, he won at Ningbo, and he won at Suzuka. And now he is about to win at half of the season's venues in the FIA World Touring Car Cup. Nobody else can say that this year. Up the inside, De Oliveira's just moving to cover Guerrieri as they are all closing in on Tarquini. Tarquini suddenly doesn't have the pace anymore. This could change. This could change big style coming into the final few corners. Tarquini's got no pace at all. His tyres are scorched. So Norby Michelis and Aurélien Panis are going to be first and second, but third place is anybody's guess. Tarquini hanging on to it. We're on board with Guidieri, looking to De Oliveira and Muller. But this man has been flawless in race 1, and he needed to be. 4 wins so far this year. He's about to make it 5, and that puts him at the front of the winners in 2019. Norbert Michelis takes the most crucial race win of his 2019 campaign and moves 1 step closer to becoming the title winner. It's not done yet, but he's on the right lines. And Aurélien Panis steals his first podium in the title. Gabriele Rizzo is delighted, and it finishes as a stalemate in the 3rd place battle. Tarquini 3rd, Guidieri in a brave 4th, De Oliveira a fantastic 5th, but Ivan Muller, driver of the day so far.
Definitely driver of the day, but for all of them. But, we just ran out of laps, didn't we? It was that was really getting quite spicy at the end there. We could have done with about another 2 or 3 laps to see how that battle for 3rd unfolded, but double podium for BRC, so won't do their team's championship any harm, and golden shot for Norby Michelis.
A truly fantastic result if you are Hungarian or you're a Hyundai owner, because that is a brilliant moment for Norbert Michelis. That is 1/3 of the job done. Absolutely brilliant. Now he's got to go into race 2, of course, starting from P10. But that's made his life a lot easier. Well done to this boy. Formidable, Aurélien Panis. He becomes the 21st driver, ironically, of number 21 to get a podium in this season's campaign. Well done to Aurélien Panis. Here's Michelis Radio.
Well done, Norby, well done. So, P1 Michelis, P2 Panis, P3 Tarquini, P4 Guerreri, P5 Oliveira, P6 Müller, P7 Agloff, P8 Christofferson, P9 Katsuena. Yeah!
That's quite simple. Short and sweet.
I wonder if he's starting to believe yet. Looks like the rain's coming down harder at that point of the circuit again.
It is. I think we're going to have potentially full wets for race 2. Dan Haglov in 7th and Johan Kristoffersen in 8th. That's worth picking up on as well. Great drives from them to be in the top 10. Kristoffersen hoping to be in the championship again in 2020, but obviously with Volkswagen no longer being a part of it, there's a slim chance of that. But a great effort. Now, is Norbert Michelis coming into the south pit lane? He is. I thought they were supposed to go to the north pit lane at the end of the races.
Well,
procedure's tricky here, isn't it? Because obviously all the motorbikes are on the north pit lane. Maybe they've changed it because of the weather, I'm not sure. But Norbert Michelis gets the win. Panis is 2nd. Tarquini is 3rd. Yeah, they have changed it because of the weather conditions. They were all originally meant to go to the north pit lane, and now they've come to the south. What a moment for Norbert Michelis. His 5th win of the year, easily the most crucial. And the team can truly celebrate. A brilliant result. It's party time. For the moment, it's all good for this man, Norbert Michelis. And look at Aurélien Panis and the crew. That's like a win for them. His first podium. And a great drive too.
Oh, it's amazing for Michelis. But how I really feel for Aurélien Panis. Was so close to getting a faultless race to P2, but so close to P1. It would have been lovely, but a great result for them all the same.
Absolutely. I mean, he was the only one who could be even close to Michelis over the course of the race. And he was only 2.4 behind him. Very good effort.
Yeah, he kept him honest, didn't he?
Yeah, really did. Gabriele Tarquini. He's been the world's best number 1. He's also the world's best number 2 right now. What a team effort. And they have made a massive dent in the Cyan Racing team standings points advantage.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where the points work out.
The team stand is going to be nail-biting to the last race, isn't it?
They're certainly going to be eating into them, and they're going to do some more of that over the course of the day.
But for Aurélien Panis, this is a big, big moment. It's always tough when you're the son of a famous racing driver, because you've got to try and shake off that weight of expectation, that do as well as your dad did. This is a massive moment for him. 2nd place in a very tough circumstance behind the man who could go on to win this year's world title. For Aurélien Panis, that result is such a big deal because it means that he's now one of the favoured drivers heading into 2020. He could pull off a result like that in very tricky conditions as one of the youngest men in the field. It's a big deal. But for this man, he's got an even bigger deal. Ah, no, they're going to go from the bus from the south pit lane to the north where the podium is. That's what they're going to do. So we're going to hear from the three drivers as Alex Le Gouy will be there on the bus with them. Sounds like a 1970s sitcom, that.
It's a proper bus as well, isn't it?
Oh, and in the rain as well. Oh, Alex, I hope you brought your Pack-A-Mac. But this is quite an amazing moment for these three. For BRC, they've gained a massive point. Fair play to Guerrieri. This was not easy from ninth on the grid. He fought to fourth. He's never, ever going to surrender, is he?
Yeah, he's definitely a fighter, Guerrieri.
And, of course, now for race 2, he'll start in front of Norby. So it's not over yet, by any stretch of the imagination. De Oliveira is 5th, the highest wild card all season? It's a very impressive performance. I think that's the highest wildcard finish of the year.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Norby Michelis wins race 1 from Panis and Tarquini. Guerrieri is 4th from De Oliveira and Ivan Muller. Hagloff and Kristoffersson are 7th and 8th for the Swedes. Nicky Katzberg fights back to 9th from 12th. And Jean-Carl Venet, a great result in 10th. Andy Prio fights back to 11th place with Mehdi Benani in 12th. Then Attila Tassi and Jan Erlaché from Gordon Shedden in 15th. And then Ben Leuchter in 16th place. Ashkener slips all the way to 17th on the wrong strategy. Marching War to 18th similarly from Mitchell Chea and Kevin Chekon. Niels Langeveld and Nestor Girolami a minute and 10 back in 22nd in the end. Rob Huff is 23rd from Tom Coronel. Then Havis Yardin, Douglas Koo, and then over 2 minutes back, Bjork and Farfus gathering data and completely unsighted by us, Montero and Vervish failed to finish. That's what it does for the title fight. Michelis and Guerrieri are very close together, but still the gap has increased. Muller is 3rd and still in it, but Ted Bjork is now officially out of the title fight. He cannot win the title this year now.
Well, this is one way of doing it. Norby Michelis, you are one step closer to being the king of WTCR 2019.
Yeah, but this was now a bigger step than the ones before. To be honest, it wasn't easy at all. I mean, you can see the conditions are far from ideal. I was really, pressured, upset, worried, seeing that it's just in between. So we just wanted to avoid something like we had today, but I'm incredibly happy with the car, with my performance, so everything went fortunately well.
Just how aware, I'm going to have to get rid of the umbrella. Just how aware of you, that's okay, Norby. Just how aware were you of the boys climbing behind you?
Yeah, I could see Aurélien having a pretty decent pace, so it was not like I was laid back. I really tried to make a gap in the beginning because you never know what's happened if the rain increases, if the rain stops. So, it wasn't an easy race because in the first 3 or 4 laps I needed to do the gap in case I do a mistake, in case people are coming much faster from behind. But in the end, yeah, everything went well. It was a perfect race.
And your secret weapon was sufficiently deployed. He was doing a very good job behind you.
Yeah, Gabriele finished P3. It's very important for the team's championship as well. Yeah. So we have to go full attack. I know him. He does this 99% of the time. So I'm very happy to have him always beside.
Great. Well done, Norby.
Thanks.
Yes.
Alex Le Gouy and Norby Michelis trying to audition for the Christmas special of WhatsApp, weren't they?
That was a proper fun bus, wasn't it?
Great stuff from Norby Michelis. A truly special victory in this title fight. His tally now goes to 5, and at 5 different venues. It's hard to begrudge him this year's title. But the job isn't done yet. We still have 2 races to come, and you don't want to miss either of them with the rain coming down the way it currently is. Norby Michelis leads. Can he keep it that way? Well, the celebrations here at Sepang, very good for BRC. But of course, the job is not done yet. Aurélien Panis is going to have a massive celebration on this podium, though, in 2nd place. And boy, does he deserve it. Race 1 here at Sepang. Started behind the safety car in changeable conditions, but after just one lap, we went slipping and sliding around the Sepang International Circuit. Norbert Michelis needed to pull out a gap and did so up front, while his teammates defended his honour. Guerrieri charged forward, and so too did Ivan Muller. But with everybody struggling with their split tyre strategies, or the difference between full slicks and full wets, it was always going to be a very unpredictable battle. Tension and drama down in the pits, but for Ivan Muller, he's back to his best and fighting fit. He wants to win this title, but as now the underdog, he's going to find it hard. His teammate Ted Bjork threw in the towel and is now playing the team game. The midfield battle, full of thrills and spills, with the likes of Ashkina and Girolami falling to the sword. But Guerrieri in 4th position, Ivan Muller in 6th, behind the highest wildcard finish of the season for João Paulo de Oliveira. A great performance from the Brazilian. Try as he might, the Frenchman just couldn't find a way through the circuit specialists. But for Norbert Michelis, a very important 5th win of the season to extend his lead in the point standings with 2 races to go in the season as the rain properly came down on the final lap. Win number 5 after triumphs at the Nürburgring, Villarreal, Ningbo and Suzuka. He now adds Sepang to his tally, and Aurélien Panis gets his best ever result in 2nd place. Race 1 down, the job is done so far for Norbert Michelis. Can he sustain it with 2 to go? These guys still lead the team standings, but the big question is, for how much longer? Erlaché and Prio did gain some big points in that race, but Ted Bjork is now well and truly out of the championship fight. And then there were 3. He'll be disappointed, but knowing that the pace that the Lynk & Co had on Friday, I think he kind of knew it was game over. But now we have a 3-way battle for the driver's title between Norbert Michelis, Esteban Guerrieri and Ivan Muller. The bridesmaid, the fighter and the legend. How about this man? Havis Yardin has been very impressive over the course of the weekend, keeping the Malaysians very happy. Always good to see the local man, Havis Yardin, splashing in the rain. The MotoGP rider and endurance racer yesterday has been very competitive. Cyan Racing still lead the team standings for the moment, but the question is, for how much longer? BRC Hyundai and even All-Inkle Munich have taken a massive scalp out of that lead. All-Inkle can't win it. BRC Hyundai definitely can. And I think this title fight in the team standings is going to go right the way to the last race, possibly even the last lap of the last race. A lot at stake here at the WTCR race in Malaysia. And after a terrific race 1 that really was 10 laps too short, gave us plenty of action. You're a British champion. You've won one of the most toughest of touring car titles to win, Matt. This is a big moment for Hungary and for Norbert Michelis, who are close to being on top of the world.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Sepang International Circuit. This is the podium of race 1 of our final weekend, the FIA World Touring Car Cup by Oscaro. Please welcome onto the podium in 3rd position from BRC by Hyundai N Squadra Corse, it's Gabriele Tarquini.
On the podium for the 6th time this season, and it's a pretty important one for the team, if he arrives.
It's Gabriele Tarquini.
He's still getting around on the bus, I think, enjoying himself.
That was a heck of a bus, wasn't it?
From Come To You DHL Team Cupra Racing, it's Aurélien Panis.
For the first time on the podium, but definitely not the last. This boy's got a massive future. Remember where you were when he grabbed his first podium.
BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corse, it's Norbert Michelis.
He won at the Nürburgring, Villarreal, Ningbo, Suzuka, and now Sepang.
Representing the winning team, BRC
Yeah, I think Gabriele's older than the other 2 put together on the podium, isn't he?
Do you know, I think you might be right. It's definitely close. Once more, it'll be the Hungarian national anthem that greets the drivers on the podium.
Anthems for both Norbert Michelis and BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corse.
I'm going to defend Gabriele Tarquini's honour a little bit in just a moment. Brilliant singing from Gabriele Tarquini. It's very rare, actually, to have a racer singing their national anthem on the podium these days.
Yeah, if you hadn't known better, you said he'd been drinking, wouldn't you?
I'm going to defend Gabriele Tarquini's honour. The combined age of Norbert Michelis and Aurélien Panis is actually 60, not 57.
Really?
Yep. 35 years of age is Norbert Michelis, 25 is Aurélien Panis. So it's close. But Gabriele might have a word with you if he finds out you said that. Great result in third place, though. And a great result for Aurélien Panis. This is a groundbreaking moment for the Frenchman, as Datak Moussaousov gives him the prize he's been wanting all year, a podium trophy. Brilliant stuff from the Frenchman.
The chairman of Sepang International Circuit will present the winning driver trophy to BRC Hyundai and Squadron Courses.
These wins are getting many and plentiful for Norbert Michelis. Surely, this is his year, this is his moment, this is his day. He's just got to keep on keeping on.
WTCR Oscaro representative will present the winning team representative to Gabriele Rizzo of BRC Hyundai and Squadron Courses.
He's got to be a very happy boy, Gabriele Rizzo. They've made a massive hemorrhage to the points advantage of Cyan Racing in race 1. They keep doing that, it's going to happen. There's Kuba Brzezinski, the esports champion of 2019, who presents the trophy to Gabriele Rizzo. And that's very fitting, actually, because Norbert Michelis, of course, was an esports racer. And now he is just 2 races away from winning the real deal. That's a coming trend. You're going to see more esports racers join up in the real form of sport and conquer both the virtual and real world of racing. Times are a-changing. The gamer is about to become the touring car king of the world, provided he keeps it lit for these last 2 races of the year. The only thing we can say is that the race was 10 laps too short, but what we can tell you is there are 2 more to go and 3 drivers still in the hunt. A fantastic race here at the first of 3 in Sepang, and there's plenty more still to come. Esteban Guerrieri and Ivan Muller are doing everything they can to close up on Norbert Michelis. And after 1 race of thrills, spills, and a little bit of splash and dash, we've had plenty of drama to talk about heading into the final 2 races of the year. Don't go anywhere. You are going to have an amazing show on your screens.